Tonight we have the pleasure of visiting with Lisa Crawley. We're so glad you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a
Tell,
real pleasure.
yay, tell us where you're coming to us from.
I'm in Los Angeles right now. How about you guys?
We're in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
Yes.
Right in the
wonderful.
heart of, yep, we're in the heart of the state. So,
Yeah.
I've got to get down there or up there. Which way? My geography is a little.
over.
Lost there.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, we are smack dab in the middle. In the middle.
Okay,
So
I'm slowly getting to know more, like other parts. I've been here about 5 years, so I'm slowly
I was
getting
going to ask how long. Yeah.
different states. Finally went to Indiana. Went to where else have I been recently? Well, that was Canada. Yeah, going to where am I going? I went to Wisconsin with the same thing, and yeah. Anyway, ticking
You
off
probably flew
places.
over.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
flew
wish I'm
over
going to
Nebraska.
North Carolina in a few weeks, so that should be fun. And so yeah,
Fun.
piecing it
Well,
together slowly. So big
yeah.
here.
It's okay. Most people here can't even name all the states, so it's
That's
it's
true.
fine. So I want to ask about your latest EP. Tell us,
Yes.
I know it came out April, is that correct?
Yeah, the end of April, April
Okay.
25th, I think it was. Yeah, so been out for a
Tell
few
us,
months now.
tell us how it came to be.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I had been working on these songs for a little while, but mostly I had been working with one particular producer and doing some co-writing with him. But there was a kind of a selection of songs that I hadn't recorded yet, and after performing one night at a small someone's lounge, basically, um, which turned into like a Queen sing along. I don't know, like things got the 10 of
Fun.
us that were there got crazy, and one of the guys in that was singing with me was in the band Tenacious D. Um,
Oh my gosh.
so yeah, it was with a guy called John Spiker who plays bass, but he has an incredible voice. So he was there with his bandmate who was Jack Black, also the actor, and all that. And
Uh-huh.
then they just started singing along to "Don't Stop Me Now," and John and I started speaking, and he's like, "Oh, who are you? And what's your story?" And yeah, he's worked with a lot of art. Despite Tenacious B like being a slightly different genre to my music, he's done a lot of different things with Beck and lots of singer-songwriters and all sorts. So I had sent him some demos, and it took a while because just schedules and whatnot. But at first I just thought, oh, he hates the songs, but he got back to me and he was like, cool, let's make this happen. And so that was a way of working that I hadn't done in a while, being more like, very heavy on instrumentation rather than just productions on a computer necessarily. So it's like had a drummer come in and how I used to record my albums in New Zealand. So yeah, we chipped away on it for a while. He was touring quite a bit, and yeah, things happened. So the four songs took a little while, but we got there, and then yeah, really happy with the result. And he was great to work with. He played most of the guitar and bass, and I did the keys, piano, vocals,
Mhm.
clarinets, and other bits and
Yeah.
pieces. Yeah,
I was going to say, I know that you play several instruments.
a few. Yeah, I always wish it was more. I wish I was a drummer actually. Like I gotta. That would be next on my list to try and get my head
Um,
around. Do you guys play instruments? Like you're obviously very musical.
yes, we play guitar. We're not very good, but we play
We're learning.
guitar
We're
and
learning.
piano.
You
And
play
piano.
guitar.
Yeah.
Come on. In
Yeah.
LA, I'm learning that in LA, you're sort of like, yeah, I'm amazing at guitar. Like that's but the disposition slightly different. So you got to sell yourself
All right.
That's
as
right.
this,
Maybe
Yeah.
I just,
yeah,
yeah, we need to say that. I'm awesome at guitar, and
On
then
the
we will
guitar.
be awesome at guitar.
guitarist. I'm like, that. I mean,
Now, I would love to learn drums too. I've always thought it would be so much fun. Plus, it's a good way to take out the stress.
it's free therapy, right? I
Yes,
know. Yeah. There's one place I play at, and
exactly.
they asked me to like they have an electronic drum kit, and I had no idea what I was doing, but they asked me to get up and try, and it was yeah, it's like therapeutic, although I wasn't good, so I felt defeated. But
Oh,
so much fun.
Oh, okay. Well, we want to pick your brain a little bit about your songwriting process.
Yeah,
That's kind of
sure.
what our audience likes to hear about is how people pretty much got into music and then their songwriting process. So, how did this all start for you? How did you get into music?
I got into music basically by always well as a child being told by a family friend that I was quite musical and singing along to some thing, and I was 2, and a family friend who was a professional musician said, "Oh, I think she's got good potential as a singer, or maybe you should start her on the recorder, on the
I love this.
recorder
Oh, I love it.
at age
Makes me
4."
happy.
So, so my family did that, and then from there I picked it up pretty quickly and did all the different recorders, the big ones, the small ones, and then
It's
went from
awesome.
there to yeah, piano and singing and clarinet lessons as well, and really just kind of immersed myself as much as possible in different groups, whether it was orchestras at school or school bands and choirs, and um, yeah, it was just like saying yes to most things and being yeah, a variety of different kinds of music as well, and joined my first I guess band when I was like 14 or 15 at high school.
Does
Yeah.
anybody else in your family, is anybody else musical or do anything in the music industry or?
Yeah, so my brother has always been quite musical. He's on the other side of things as well. He's a radio DJ and
Oh,
is in a few bands in New Zealand as well. Oh no, I'm gonna just have to have a sip of water.
Oh, yeah. No, it's funny that you
Catching
brought
up
up
on the dance class. Oh yeah, the recorder.
you brought up the recorder because so it's probably fourth grade here. Everybody gets a recorder and you take it home and you learn it. And no one that I've ever known until I've met you has gone on with the recorders. I think that's really cool. I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
sometimes I get paid to play. Other times I probably be paid not to play it. It depends.
Tra-
I
That's
actually have
awesome.
it. I have it. Sometimes in traffic or like if I'm at the drive-through at Taco Bell, and there's a big line, I'll just like play along to the radio and have a few videos of that sort of stuff, just to, you know,
That's
just as a
great.
goofy thing. But yeah, I guess I just like kept being involved with music ever since then, and began more, be more songwriting stuff towards the end of high school.
Yeah. So when you're writing a song, how do you put a song together? Like, how do you see it start to finish? Do you have a specific process or does it change every time?
Um, yeah, I think now more than ever, I mix it up a bit more. But I used to be very much like pen and paper with a notebook and just write a lot of lyrics before I thought about melody. Um, and yeah, that sort of just seemed to be when things would flow the easiest for me when I was sort of feeling a lot of stuff, rather than just treating it like, oh, am I going to write about today? For me, it was like more like diary entries,
Sure.
especially when I was young, bit younger. And as you get older and want to mix up how you do things, definitely have played around with more like having a melodic idea or like a piano piece and then seeing if I can fit lyrics to it or a couple of like a little drum beat on my omnichord or just, yeah, mixing it up or even done a few songwriting game shows in LA, which is like called Top Tune, and they give you a title. So also just working that way as well and seeing, hmm, okay, well, I have a title and now I have 17 minutes to write a song. It's like a little competition
Oh, wow.
that yeah, you team up with someone else and you write the song. So it's kind of taught me there's like so many different ways of getting inspiration for songs as well. I feel like my favorite ones have just been probably more lyric based. But especially when you get into collaboration and songwriting, like working with one of my best friends here, Rob Kleiner, like we have written a lot together here, and there's some people that you just kind of click working with, and you go,
mhm.
oh,
Sure.
okay. Sometimes you're like, it's a bit vulnerable coming up with ideas, but if the right person will kind of not make you feel too weird about that, and yeah, sometimes you come up with things that you never thought you could before that. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, but now I would say I would sit at the piano or keyboard that I have here and just like see what I can come up with, and try and treat it more like exercise rather than just like a compulsion thing. But yeah, as we know, sometimes it's good just to write, and even if it's nothing that you think that you love, it's still good to have out there. I think out
Yep.
not necessarily to the world, but to your world.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Another
that's kind
cheap
of
therapy.
Yeah.
Getting-
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
Those
oh,
what's
sorry, go
that?
ahead.
Oh, I interrupted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's like sometimes I open my notes app on my phone. I'm like, well, I don't know what I just write one line and I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't know. But trying to I'm like,
I
that's
think
gonna be
I
a
do
great
that too.
idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I did it
Or
too.
voice notes that I think, oh, I'm totally going to be able to hear myself, but I don't want to be too loud. So I'm like humming something to myself and I can't really hear it. I'm like, oh, come on, just like, yeah.
Oh, what do you do if you get stuck writing? How do you get yourself
Yeah.
unstuck?
Uh, that's a good question. And I'm someone that does get stuck because I play so much music that it's not always like, as a session player or like a pianist for hire or like for events and things, that it can become a bit, um, what's the word? Become more like work than something that's like a joy to go home and do. Like, say if I'm playing somewhere for like 4 hours and dealing with like different sorts of people, I might not really want to just go home and write more songs. But um, so yeah, I tend to try and put myself in different environments. Like when I was really in that bit of bit of a stuck place, I was living in Australia at the time. I'm from New Zealand, but was did 5 years in Melbourne before relocating to LA, and I really had to make myself go to the other side of the world in Canada to a songwriting residency and put myself in a hut in the snow and just see what happened because I'm someone that can get quite easily distracted. So there's nothing like being in a hut in the snow with a Steinway grand piano to make you really get it done and see what you can come
Yes.
up with.
Good way to
Sounds
focus.
lovely. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, I mean it was 40 hours of travel, and so that's a bit of an extreme example, but I suppose yeah, like collaboration, um, changing the environments, yeah, using just the title or a concept or trying to write a song in the style of one of your favorite songs, not necessarily copying it, but just like using that as a template and going, okay, what do I actually like about this song and what could I do, even if it's like nothing I'm going to use, but what can I learn from this structure and why does that extra line make me go, oh, that's unfinished? Is it because it's missing a line? And just like take tools and go, okay, well, it's like maybe my favorite songs again, it's going to be like just happen, but that's that's like
Yeah.
not always the default. So yeah, just trying to like these different exercises and as well. And yeah, talking to other people and observing and getting out of my normal scenario definitely helps. Overhearing conversations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think those ones that maybe don't work out are kind of stepping stones to the ones that do. So that's, I
Totally.
mean,
Get them out of the way. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Yes.
hoping that
Yeah.
applies to like decent men in the world as well. And dating in Los Angeles.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my gosh. So, what is coming next for you? Are you touring the EP? Are you writing new things? We know you've done theater in the past. What is
Yeah.
happening for you now?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it at the moment. I'm looking to just get writing again, and whether that's setting up sessions and booking some rooms, so I'm in that environment where I have to get into writing mode. I did some shows over in Nova Scotia with another band, but I will be booking some of my own shows. I think now that I'm feel more settled in Los Angeles, I feel like I can look around and do a small tour of
Cool.
different spots. Yeah, I know there's so much to see, and I love playing my own music and as much as I can. I would like to do that, and I may be working with like a booking agency on that at the moment. And yeah, just it's just like writing new songs, and I play pretty regularly. I played a songwriting evening last night called Open Folk at the Hotel Cafe,
Yay.
and that's a great way of another way of inspiration is just going and watch other people and
Mhm.
being one of those people that turn up at the gig that you say you're going to go to and not just be like, oh, I'll be there. Um, and yeah, I don't know, just get out of your normal situation as well. And um, so for me, yeah, just fleshing out new songwriting ideas at the moment. And yeah, I think it can be just unless you have a huge team behind you, it can be quite exhausting, like releasing something. And I would like to be the person that was writing a million songs at the same time, but um, because I was over in New Zealand doing some radio and some shows around the EP then, and now I've been back for a bit now, and I'm just going, okay, like I want to write new songs now, so getting into that, yeah,
Very
So
cool.
for our listeners who haven't heard you yet,
yeah.
how would you describe your music? What kind of
Hmm.
genre would you say?
I would say my music falls into the indie pop singer-songwriter world, and I think that others have commented that there's definitely a hint of like retro influence as well. Like I love music from the 60s and 70s.
Very cool.
Um, so yeah, I would say like retro indie pop. But
Nice.
Yes, definitely. I would also say singer-songwriter. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
definitely hear that.
definitely
Yeah.
singer-songwriter. Like,
For sure. Yeah.
I would not like a indie electro band or anything like, but
Yeah.
when I do play with a band as well when I can as well, and love what that brings as well. Yeah, so I'd say indie singer songwriter. Yep.
Right.
I like
Yeah,
it.
mostly
So,
piano based.
yeah. So when you're not doing music, where would we find you?
Well, I've just come from a dance class at the gym, but I don't want anyone to find me there because I don't want you to see me. Actually, it was very humbling. I had the whole class, the teacher choreographed a whole dance to my song um, two
Wow.
weeks ago. So the whole class did a routine, and it felt very awkward for me, but it was very
That
sweet.
would be.
I
But
know
it's
it's
also,
saying
yeah.
it's the closest to Beyonce I'll probably be in a while in terms of having like backup dancers, and yeah, it was
Kind of fun. But yeah,
That would
I
be
would feel weird too.
same.
Be like, oh, everyone's
right.
looking at me.
Yeah, I
Oh my
admire
gosh.
people that wouldn't feel weird. I admire their confidence. Sometimes I have Uber drivers that are musicians and like, here's my song. I'm like, cool, it's great, yeah.
What else do you like to do?
Oh, yes. What else? I try and get out of the apartment and I live very close to a really nice hike, so I'm kind of exploring Los Angeles as well. And I'm like, I really love to go and find a good. I'm actually really struggling if anyone is watching and knows a good table tennis bar, um, because I love playing table tennis. And what else? I don't know. I mean, I enjoy movies and going traveling as well. I've mainly with music taken, been around, you know, quite a few countries now and had the pleasure of like playing in different spots in Asia and would love to do more of travel around Europe. I used to live in London, but didn't really get to go around Europe that much. So yeah, I like that and playing arcade games. I'm a bit of a nerd like that. Pac-Man. I get
Well,
really competitive.
I
What was
saw
that?
a thing on the news yesterday that they said playing games as you get older and whatever is good for your mind. So keep playing games.
Yes. That's
Okay,
good.
Being a nerd.
absolutely. I know, I
Mind
know.
sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like this is the usual stuff, hanging out with friends and
Yeah.
all those
Very
all
cool.
those things and
We like to ask
mm,
that question because people think, oh, all you do is music, but you have a whole life
Yeah.
other than that.
I
So it's
know.
what people like.
I think that's, the first single off the EP was really based around that because it was my timing of moving here was like a month before the pandemic. So it was like
Oh.
my identity was so wrapped up in being a musician. Like my visa literally says, this is what the only thing you can do here. This is what you are. And people would say,
Yes.
oh, but that's your identity. And I'm like, well, hang on. Like, yeah. And it really made me go, oh, what else do I have to offer as a person? And what else do I have going for me? And how do I, yeah, if music was taken away, like heaven forbid, be like something I couldn't do anymore, what would I do as well? So
Yeah. Oh
it's
my gosh.
That'd be a good song to write about.
yeah.
That's timing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you got here and then you were just trapped. You were
Pretty
here.
much, yeah, yeah. So I
Oh,
did what every person did and got a pet. But I
Yeah.
didn't have any savings or anything. I was like just planning on. I've always been like quite savvy and like good at going out to places and trying to find work, but I didn't really have anything lined up when I first got here. Some co-writing sessions and that, but in terms of paid work, I was like, oh, I'll find some gigs, and so it was very I had a small amount of money from getting my flight covered to LA by playing on a cruise ship for 6 weeks. So I that was the money I moved from. They paid for my flight, and then I just had
Oh
that
wow.
money. So that was a small amount that I had to start my life here. And then yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't American, so I wasn't eligible for the things. But I was like, I have a choice to just keep my head, just try and use this time to write music and
mhm.
Yep.
but I hadn't lived like that before. It was very, yeah, the extent of like the struggle. It was, possible to go back to New Zealand, but I probably wouldn't have been able to get back to the States anytime in the next,
Yeah.
forever. So I was like, let's just see what happens and how long I can make it work for. Yeah. So when things opened up, just like went everywhere and everywhere I could and said yes to gigs and met new people. And now I'm like, I think it like instills a bit of a panic mindset to say no to things sometimes, which is also because you go, oh, well, hang on, like what if that happens again? And just what if I end up like not having the work? So it's tricky to
Yeah.
know. For me, like I'm a musician for hire, so sometimes I'll play any up to 6 nights a week sometimes, and so I really with songwriting, which is my favorite thing and what I want to do more of, like almost have to treat it like a paid job. And it can be sometimes, like I do write
Yeah.
for other people and get paid for that sometimes off different, internet things or whatever.
Mhm.
But for my own music, sometimes it's hard to justify doing that but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
slowly learning like, oh, you've said yes to 5 nights in a row of really long gigs. You're going to be, you know, this is going to make you not want to write songs for the next week,
Yeah.
probably. So
Yeah.
maybe just take two of them. But you're like, oh no, but I could use that money for paying my band. But then it's like just realizing yeah.
Yes.
I'm a very slow learner when it comes to that. But it's also that,
Balance.
again, it's like that thing. It's like people like, I guess, glorify everyone that like just saying yes to everything and being super busy all the time. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, navigating
Yeah.
what works for you and what you can handle and what's going to enable you to still be creative.
Yeah. And taking care of
Yeah.
yourself.
There's a lot to be said for balance.
Yes.
It
Yes.
really
Is that
is.
something that you guys find you struggle with
Well,
or?
it's funny that you say that because our next question that we usually ask is, as a creative, how do you balance everything and keep yourself mentally and physically, well?
Yeah.
But yes, like, I mean, it's nonstop. Like we're doing the podcast and we have an elderly father that we're taking care of or
Oh,
taking
really?
care of. So
Yeah.
there's always stuff. And we both have full-time jobs. So, I mean, there's
So
always,
it's us finding time to
Wow.
write, and we write together usually, and
Oh, great. I can't wait to
we do a
listen.
lot of lyrics. Not so much the music yet because we're still learning that, but
Mm.
it is hard to find time. We've had to do where we've said, okay, we're taking this whole weekend and we're just going to go write.
our writing
It's
retreat.
our writing. Yeah, we'll have a retreat together, but it's
hard.
few and far between,
Yeah.
unfortunately, when we get that. So that
Well,
balance.
And I would
Yeah.
imagine you, as a working musician, being out there and doing like all of your social media and all of the content and all, I mean, there's all of the added layers.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. But as my mother says, every yes involves a no. So I'm like, yep, that's right. So for me, I I love pitching songs to the artists or to potential shows and I have because I've said yes to the quickest route of money of like playing because it's tough out there and we do what we can. It's like, oh, hang on, like I need to set aside 3 days to like send out my songs to libraries
yeah,
and do that so I can potentially earn money down the line and not have to be out and about and just money that will come in from your songs being used. But
Yeah.
I find it's just like reminding myself that it's a bit of a long game sometimes, and yeah, and to just be like, I'll be okay without taking that gig, and oh, hang on, remember how that gig made you feel? Yeah, just stuff like that rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
yeah.
And
good.
as my other job, I work for myself, and so sometimes
Okay.
I guilt myself into the, oh, if you don't work, you're not getting paid, and but then you go just like you, I go, ooh, but I hated that job last time. Maybe I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's sort of like, okay, well, why, moving to Los Angeles was a big process, and it's like, well, why am I here if I'm taking work that is stopping me, and I'm also just being more conscious about my surroundings and like the people that I want to meet aren't necessarily going to be at this specific kind of gig I'm doing.
Yes.
But I'm also trying to like give myself some kindness and be like, well, you got to pay the bills. So it's just monitoring all of that too. Yeah.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that
Totally.
insight though, because I mean, I think we all do that at some point where we're trying to balance, and sometimes that your cup is just
Too full.
too
Yeah.
full, and sometimes it's not full enough.
Yep. So true.
Yeah, and reminding myself that like a lot of people that make me feel like, oh, it's crazy to say no to that. They don't maybe share the same goals, or they might not be writers as well, have the same,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe
Yep.
their idea of is just getting the best paid cover gig or something, or like, being the best at getting the crowd going. It's just like, okay, it's always like a puzzle in my mind, and I have a very like busy brain. As I'm sure we all do, even though I might look
Yes.
like I'm in a daze, sometimes it's so it's just like, okay, yeah, no, it's just difficult to do without anyone assisting you with making those decisions, I suppose.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Well, we're going to ask you our
Yes.
4 questions that we ask everyone
Okay.
who comes on our show.
Yeah.
And the first one is, what was your first gig and your best or favorite gig so far?
Oh, my first gig, like
Like
performing.
first paid gig or yeah.
Oh, it was probably with oh, I don't know. I mean, like there was like a theater in Auckland that had a fundraiser that was like a jazz night that I probably played out when I was like 14 or something. But um, I mean, I was doing talent quests and things like that. But gigs probably with my band that was my high school band that I wasn't the main songwriter for. We started playing in bars at about 14, 15, and would have to bring our parents along. But some of them probably paid, some of them wouldn't. We played a lot, and then it sort of turned into like playing in bars for money for doing covers with that same group of people. But yeah, so I'll probably say like I started to earn money from music in some way, or more money went out on music, but like 15-ish. And
Of
then I
course.
started playing in hotels from about 17 once a week and just like playing on Fridays, like doing
hmm
piano vocal stuff. And
Cool.
then, yeah, so I'd say that. And there was some pretty, and I was playing at church a lot as well, which in the States, I find out years later that people actually get paid to do a lot of the time. A lot of the session musicians, one of their main
Yeah.
staple gigs is church gigs,
Yeah.
where I was playing, without that expectation or without that, since I was about 13, like most Sundays, and so a lot of my musical upbringing was in that as well, and in different variations of churches. Not something I've done here or really seek out here. But it's interesting to hear about that because I guess like it's one of my biggest struggles. I don't mind playing other people's music, but if the crowd, if you feel like you're connecting with the audience, then I feel like it's been a good gig. And
Yeah.
sometimes I just feel like if I feel inauthentic, then I have a really hard time mentally, and I think that's when depression starts to sink a bit, and I'm like, what am I doing, kind of thing. And,
Yeah.
and I find it interesting that a lot of people that aren't, well, I wouldn't call themselves religious, just do these gigs as like a thing. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, I wish I've had very history with church, so it's like I don't really feel like that's for me at the moment. But it's interesting that they just treat it like a job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That
yeah,
is interesting. Hmm.
yeah, it's like some of the places I play that are more covers, like some of the expectations is to like make jokes that I don't always really like, and maybe it's more me being like slightly more of a British humor or like a dry humor, but like some of the jokes I'm just like I can't, I just it doesn't feel like me, and I just my soul dies. So it's just finding that those things that are good fits for you, and I think
Mhm.
taking that away just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should. Um,
Right.
Screw.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. What about
I
your
don't know. What's that?
Yeah. Had a favorite gig so far?
Oh, favorite gig. Yes. You know what? I remember feeling really, really happy when I got to open for Suzanne Vega in New Zealand. I got to open for her, and that was me like just playing solo, opening for her, and it felt like I don't know, it felt like a great fit, and just had a really nice feeling afterwards. And it isn't necessarily about being a larger gig; it was just a memorable one for me, and really being inspired by her as well. So all those things combined. Um, it just was like a really respectful audience, and some of those opening gigs have been really special to me. But then you might play somewhere to 5 people and get paid more the next day. So it's just like having those memories of those really memorable gigs. And some of those memorable gigs have been like 1 in the morning at a dive bar in Australia, in Melbourne or something. So it's just, that's an example of one of them. Another one was probably more about the power of like how music can help people was like I've hosted this piano karaoke thing as like a side business where I have, a couple of thousand songs and I'll go and host it and people can get up and sing.
Wow.
And it's not
Oh,
like a show off kind of night, but sometimes it's people have never sung and other times. And there was like this man at the end of the night when no one else was really there. It was like tattoos and just looked like, okay, I'm like, oh, do you want to do a song? And he chose Christina Aguilera's Beautiful. And he was just like bawling his eyes out and like,
aw.
to be involved with that, like whatever that journey was like very humbling for me. And I'm like, when yes, social media is very exhausting and you're like worried about what photo looks best and like caring about who's seeing your stuff, and it's like who cares. Like for me those gigs are a nice reset and like a reminder of how music can help people, and yeah,
Yeah.
those sort of gigs.
Music saves. That's
Balance.
that's
But of course I want to
totally.
play my own songs to like a big audience. That's fun too.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
So who would you say are your influences?
Oh, there's one behind me. Fleetwood Mac is
Okay.
into them.
Good one.
Um, Big Beatles fan and really like a fan of the classics like Carole King and the Carpenters, as well as uh 60s girl groups as well, and more indie artists like Cat Power and Regina Spektor and that sort of world as well. In New Zealand, I sort of struggled to find my being in between the indie and pop world sort of thing, and those artists have kind of helped me feel connected in a way. But yeah, I love retro music and Roy Orbison and that sort of stuff too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say you're currently listening to on repeat?
Um, that's a good question. I'm listening to stuff I have to learn sometimes, so
Yeah.
um,
Makes total
but
sense.
I was doing a weekly gig where I was learning like 30 songs a week, and that was more in the country world. So my Spotify algorithm was pretty
All
heavy
country.
with that, but that's not really stuff that I necessarily would have chosen. But um, yeah, on repeat, I don't know. I'm listening to there's an artist called Marlon Williams who I've known for a long time, and he released an album that's all in our native language and Maori, which is Te Reo, and
Oh,
my little
oh,
cousin produced it. So yeah,
sweet.
I've been listening to that, and Marlon's voice is very like retro inspired as well. It's sort of like a dark Roy Orbison type thing. But yeah, I'm always listening to the Beatles because I'm in a house band for a Beatles thing. And
Love it. Yeah, I've got the
yeah.
Beatles on my
Yeah, we're big
Spotify,
Beatles
or not
people.
Spotify, my um
Serious.
Sirius XM. And I just follow their channel a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, huh? Yeah. Yeah,
Funny.
Spotify told me I'm in the 0.01% listening audience or something, but
And you're like, that can't be true.
No, that's not true.
yeah, I don't
So,
know. But yeah, like a lot of the classic stuff, and I also try and keep up with like some of the newer like more indie pop stuff, and I listen to KCOW's Eclectic 24 thing as well. For I love the music that the host of that chooses. Like every song, I'm like, and I know I'm familiar with about like a quarter of it, so it's always a great way to discover new music. And
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
always the most fun part of
Yeah.
it.
yes, totally. And also like there's always like in Los Angeles, one of the great things is that there's always a songwriter night on any night of the week. So last night I played this open folk night. It's not open mic, but it's called open folk, and it started in Argentina. But it's a really nice listening audience, and I was one of 8 performers. So
Very
I'm really
cool.
like lucky to be listening to new music all the time. Yeah.
That's one of the best
Yeah.
things about this podcast is we get to
Yes.
meet all of
Oh
you and
yes.
listen to your music, and
Yes.
it's amazing how who we find and all of
Well,
the
and all of the music that you're like, oh, I like this and I like that. I'm like, oh, I've never heard that. Let me write
yeah.
it down. It's fun for us. So
And then I get to hear your music.
Eventually,
Eventually, we gotta work on
it. We got work to do.
what advice would you give to new songwriters or musicians?
Um, I would say write as many songs as you can. Sometimes it's really easy to hyper focus on one song that you are sure is going to be the song, and it's great to have those convictions. But I think sometimes we can also use that as a way of like perfectionism, and there's always maybe like, oh, I just got to get this one song right as well. But just keep writing no matter what, no matter if you think it's average. And yeah, you never know what's going to be picked up. Like I had a song that someone told me was too much of a jingle to be played on the radio, but then it did get played on some little thing, and then the head of like Apple Music sorry, the advertising for Apple Music got in touch wanting to pitch it for an Apple ad, and it got to the last few, didn't quite get it, but like I just thought, oh, no one's going to listen to that. It's like a funny little jingly song, but don't rule things out just because of what you think someone's going to like. And in terms of earning money from music, like one of the main ways and the only ways these days is getting songs placed on things.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I've heard people say, oh, we got to write for sync, and it's like, well, yeah, but write for yourself, because I've had, I don't know, over the last 10-15 years, a number of placements, but only one of them, I think, was a song that we had tried to write for sync. And the others have just been songs that were like meaningful to me, and just like honest songs of mine, and they end up being used. And yeah, I like the task of writing as a challenge in this style, or this station needs something like this. But yeah, don't try not to worry about what other people want too much. Yeah.
Love it. It's great
If you're in
advice.
LA, be very careful who you work with, because there's a lot of con artists out there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not taking
No,
that.
No, it's
No.
good advice. It's good advice. People,
Just
People
like-
always need to be careful.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, we're vulnerable artists, and things can sometimes, yeah. So, but on a songwriting point of view, just write as much as you can. And I'm talking to myself here as well.
And us.
And
We're
us.
listening.
And
We're
you.
hearing you.
Yeah. What about you? What's your thing? Can I ask you your piece of
Oh
advice?
gosh. I mean, I definitely agree with write as much as you can. What would I say? I would say, yeah, give yourself grace. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. The first things you're gonna write aren't gonna be perfect, and you're gonna run out of shit before you write anything good.
I know. I always say, okay, like for me now, I have a bit of a catalog, and I'm like, oh, like, am I still going to try and be this new artist to people, or do I, should I take down the old stuff that's like, I'm not as a good a singer, or like, and I don't have a label like telling me yes or no, but all I can be is myself. And I think it's part of the journey, not to sound too corny. But like, it's called a record for a reason, and it's that, like, my first full-length album was very grief heavy, and it's like, ooh, like, is it too much of a bummer? But that really helped me, and I know it's helped other people. And just,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
It's
would-
gonna find the audience.
Yeah. I would say mine would be listen to, get out there and listen to as much as you can, and analyze other people's lyrics and how they do it, and their melodies and how they do it, to help influence you. But I mean, obviously you're not going to steal from them, but you're going to find your kind of niche.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
listening.
And I guess in terms of a gigging point of view, something that I find, especially in LA, is like, for me, like, all the gigs I got was going up and making connections with the venues, and that's not like asking them straight out how to get a gig there. It's like going and listening to other people, and supporting other people there, and not like, I've heard people like, oh, how'd you get that gig? But they've never actually come along. They're like, can you put me in touch with that? Can I have that gig as well? And you're like, well, I'm not trying to like be selfish with connections or anything, but like, if someone has come along and knows the gist of the gig, I'm going to ask them probably over someone that's just like asking me for that
Yeah.
gig. That makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think we can all or be a light for other people, and there's no, we can help each other out. But yeah, it's just interesting to like, just, I think, be genuine, and try and take an interest in others, in terms of like a community sort of thing.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons we do this podcast too, is because we love that there are people out there doing this, which is a dream of ours, to be able to, write songs and to promote singer-songwriters, and promote people who are out there doing it, and how, and then those who listen get ideas, and can see how to grow and how to develop their own craft. So it's been an amazing journey so far.
Cool.
Right.
And are there other siblings?
We have one other sister. She lives out of state.
Yeah.
So we don't see her as often as we should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's more closer to you. She's in Bellingham, Washington. So she's quite a ways away from us.
Great.
So,
Well, I'll definitely be reaching out if I get to play in your area.
I'd
love that. Yes.
Yeah.
We would love to have you do a shameless plug for us. Tell us where we can find your music, your social media, any websites, Bandcamp. What else am I missing?
Patreon, anything you got.
Oh yeah. You can probably Bandcamp is the best way to support me. There's my whole catalog of songs is on there for like very discounted rate where you can buy the whole catalog. If you've got a
Love it.
spare couple of hours to listen to me, you'll yeah. Um, Probably Bandcamp, lisacrawley.bandcamp.com, and I'm also on iTunes and Apple and Spotify. And I don't have a Patreon at the moment. I used to have one, but I just it felt like I wasn't giving them enough love back. Like I wanted to make sure it was had
Yeah.
quality stuff, but it did really help me during the pandemic doing songs for
Oh,
people and requesting and things.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and on Instagram, I'm just under Lisa Crawley, Crawley, Crawley. That's where you find me. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's
Oh
been
my
such a
gosh.
pleasure chatting
Me
with you.
too.
Thank you so much.
My
Such great insight. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so many
Oh,
things
good.
to
I'm glad that
Well,
my
and best of
rambling.
luck. Best of luck with all the upcoming stuff
yes.
and
Thank
with
you
the
so much. So nice to
EP.
talk to you both. And yeah.